poor working conditions, lousy pay, and audience rejection. Welcome, Ashley Barnhill.
Wow, thank you.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi, what an introduction.
Yeah, well, it's the truth, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about the truth.
Yeah. How do you like being a comedian?
How do I like it? I'd say it has its highs and lows. Its highs usually being more mid-range mediocre.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
it's a spectrum.
It's a tough business. Now, Eric, right here, the tall guy next to you, is one of the top warm-up guys in town and warms up audiences for sitcoms and things.
But warm-up is not stand-up.
Not
in any way.
What's the difference?
Stand-up, you come out there, it's you on the stage alone. They've come to see you. In warm-up, my job is to give the audience permission to have a good time. They didn't come to see me. They're not judging me as a warm-up. I'm simply getting the room loose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you agree to that, Ashley?
I would say warming up is very difficult. So I would qualify it as stand-up. I feel like you're really kind of undercutting yourself there.
Well, it was never funny. That was my problem.
What happened? Tell us about the Twitter thing.
Yeah, I just started writing jokes on that and getting positive feedback and then taking that to stage. And
How do you write a 40-character joke?
well, Twitter's 140 characters,
Yeah,
so you have a
140,
little bit more
yeah.
leeway with that.
Well, but there was room in there for applause afterwards.
So it's happened to that.
140 characters. That's what I meant. Say, never correct me like that again on here. How do you write a joke in 140 characters?
It's not easy. I feel like a lot of them. I try to use a lot of them for stage two, which they don't always translate. So that's always interesting to explore.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a new medium, being able to use social media to get your comedy out, and you think it's fairly different from actually being on stage performing, typing comedy on the computer.
Yeah, certain tweets that go over really well definitely just won't go over well on stage.
Yeah. So how do you sort of field that? Do you try, or do you just throw it all out there and see what catches?
Yeah, you kind of just generally have to throw everything all out there and see what catches and see what works.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, it's just, you just get rid of it.
But it worked for you. Oh, lights out. Well, that's it. I guess it's all. Thanks, Ashley. Tough break. God, and you were just red hot too at the time. One of the great jokes that was always stolen in the old days was a guy goes into a doctor and doctor says, "I have bad news and I have worse news." And the guy says, "What's the bad news?" He says, "You have 24 hours to live." And he says, "What's worse than that?" He said, "I couldn't get a hold of you yesterday."
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Couldn't get a hold of you yesterday. Yesterday. Couldn't get a hold of you
I'm
yesterday.
diagramming the joke.
Okay, good.
But no one wants to settle, and you shouldn't. You should keep your standards high and unrealistic, and just hope eventually someone will settle for you. So I'm probably gonna be single for a long time. Which is why my best guy friend and I, we decided to make one of those marriage pacts. If we're both still single, when we both turn 40, we'll commit to a murder-suicide.
Tell me about the gig that you've got coming up.
It's at Moon Tower in Austin, Texas.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is Moon Tower? Is it like a big, just a big comedic festival?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just comedy.
Yeah. And how long does that go?
It's Wednesday through Saturday, and this will be its third year running.
Wow. And how many nights do you do stand-up?
It really varies. I guess about 5 or 6 nights a week.
Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And when you walk out and you do the first line and you get no response, what do you do?
Trying to keep it together. It happens often. Some of the mics here are 40 to 45 comics, and sometimes you won't go up until after 2 hours, so it can be pretty rough.
Do you have a guaranteed opening line? A line that usually works?
I do, but I usually only do it when I'm doing an important show or something. So.
Not Hollywood Headliners. You wouldn't you wouldn't use that on a show like Hollywood Headliners because it's only internet radio.
Of course I would.
Right, good. We are thrilled to have you with us. I'm glad things are starting to work out for you. Have a great, knock it out of the park, break a leg this week down in Austin, Texas. Ashley Barnhill, our guest tonight.